Hello, students. Welcome back. Cells rock. You rock because you're made up of cells. Today, I just want to go over a few different parts of cells and help you come up with some ideas for your cell amusement park designs. So, one of the things I do want to see is you be creative. So I want you to think creatively with this. Use your imagination. Okay, pretend you've been hired now by Six Flags to create a cell amusement park. Six Flags is losing money. Their CEO contacted me last night and found out, have such awesome 7th grade science students, that they have hired you now to design a new amusement park where people are actually going to learn something. So they're going to have fun, but they're going to also learn about cells. So it'll be a fun amusement park and it should teach the customers something. So that's the purpose. We're going to teach and have fun, because who says that education and entertainment are mutually exclusive? They shouldn't be. Education should be entertaining. So you're going to teach about cells. And I want you to create an amusement park that could represent could represent an animal cell or a plant cell. So a general cell. If you don't have to specifically pick like an animal blood cell or nerve cell. If you'd like to do that, that'd be awesome actually. So if you want to, maybe you're going to focus on the nervous system. So you pick a nerve cell called a neuron, and they have certain structures in neurons that you can include in your amusement park. Okay, so let's say we're going to go with the neuron. A neuron is a nerve cell. And let's make an amusement park, maybe that could represent a neuron. Okay, so let's have inside, to get into the neuron, there is a border around the neuron. Not everything can go in. Some things can go in, other things cannot go in. It's like a protection, like a security guard. And that is called the cell membrane. So the cell membrane goes around an animal cell and plant cell and bacterial cell. It surrounds cells. And it is called a cell membrane. It is semi-permeable. So permeable means anything can go through it. If something's permeable, anything can go through. If it's semi-permeable, some things can go in, other things cannot go in. Okay, so it's also called selectively permeable. Okay, so take this balloon, for instance. The outside here, the latex, could maybe represent a cell membrane. Think about it. Is this impermeable? Impermeable means nothing can go through. Permeable, everything can go through. Semi-permeable, some things can go through. Selectively permeable, some things can go through. So a cell membrane is semi-permeable, or it's selectively permeable. So, for example, with your amusement park, maybe there are metal detectors at the entrance to your amusement park. Those metal detectors then are not going to let everybody pass through. Or if they're carrying a weapon or something, they're not going to be allowed to enter. So that could represent the cell membrane. Now, when you draw out your map for your amusement park, this would be a map you would give the customer to your park, the visitor to your park. So you want them to know where they're going. Okay, you know, if you've ever been somewhere like a zoo or something and you get a map and the map makes no sense, it doesn't tell you where you are. It takes an hour to figure out what you're doing. You end up just throwing the map away and just figuring out, reading the signs at the park to get around. So you want a map that's user-friendly. So you can start with right at the entrance, where there's a metal detector, or there's a ticket sales. So maybe you have a certain price for admission, and that could be your cell membrane. Because people that don't have $50 to get in, they can't go through. If they have $50, they can go in, but not everything can go in. Okay, so it's not just a general admission, free admission, anybody come in. That would not represent a cell. So that's an example. Then I want you to give it a name. So be creative. Now relate it to the cell membrane. So you could come up with maybe cell membrane ticket booth or something. Once we get into the cell, once we're in the park, in a cell, most of the cell really is water. The inside of the cell, most cells, that's what they're made of, mostly water. And the water and other proteins are in the cell. These make up really like the fluid inside the cell, and that is called cytoplasm. So cytoplasm. Cyto means cell. If you study cytology, you're studying cells. Cytoplasm. So it's like the fluid in the cells. Now how could you represent this in your park? Maybe your park is a water park, and the water is maybe like ankle deep throughout the park, so people are really walking through water. Or it doesn't have to be that literal. Could be just maybe the pavement through the park, or the sidewalk through the park. Could be. Or maybe just the air people are breathing could represent the cytoplasm. So I want you to create analogies for the different parts of the cell to the parts of an amusement park. I want you to be creative. And when you do the map, looking for detailed pictures and incorporate information about the organelles or the parts of the cell in the map in the form of like signs or interactive exhibits or attractions or carnival games. But I don't want you to just list a bunch of facts like you've searched on Google. So I don't want it to look like just a poster where you just cut and paste. I want you to think creatively and incorporate the information into an amusement park.